apparently, can we jump into this? Because this should be hilarious. Mike Lindell was on Jim Bakker's show. And for those of you that don't know, Jim Bakker is a felon who preaches the word of Jesus. And there is no better example of the healing word of the Lord than our Jesus. So here he is. He's on there promoting Frank's speech. And by the way, just so you know, over here on the side of the stage, there's a little pile of stuff right over. That's prepper food. They sell this prepper food all the time. And by the way, their audience is not getting any younger. I would love to sit in on one of these things. And if they have questions or prayer requests, I would have some input. But if you look at the crowd here, these are no spring chickens. And, they're selling you buckets of pancake goo over here on the right. That's the, and they break to it all the time. Yes, Jim Bakker's still alive. Let's see, by the way. I have to open this guy up. Hold on one second. And make sure that this is set like it's supposed to. There we go.
Well,
they just buried it.
Yeah. The absolute proof. Let me tell you the key part of that. That's probably the only time where I had a little fear and I had to pray, get on my knees and pray to God. This was 10 days before the impeachment trial. And let me tell you, 10 days before, and remember at the time that was like towards the end of January, the impeachment trials were Tuesday following like the February 8th. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll take your word for it. We'll all look back on our calendar and stuff. Everybody. Yeah, I mean, I've got them listed as holidays anyways, but yeah.
And this was about maybe January 25th or so. I'm sitting there, I go, wow, they're going to impeach him. And I had word that they were going to impeach him. We were not going to be able to show evidence at that trial. They would not have shown it on TV. And they impeach him now. And what were they going to do? Take everyone January 6th in this big fake insurgency or whatever that you're against the government. Right. And guess who was number one on that list to come and get me? And they were coming. I'm going, God, they're going to kill me. They're going to put me and hang me. Basically is what I'm.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. That's what the U.S. government does. Murder Mike Pillow. That was the goal. That's straight up New World Order. I don't know why. And it's funny that you're number one on the list. And you've managed to dodge it. Maybe it's because you're hiding in all the wrong places, like on TV or at the Grand Ole Opry knockoff that they do this. Yeah. And there is nowhere in this, I don't think, if I may.
Wow.
That does he actually say he believes it, like that was the case, or that's how he felt? Hold on.
Come and get me. And they were coming. I'm going, God, they're going to kill me. They're going to put me and hang me. Basically is what I'm thinking. And
no, I'm sorry, you're confused. That was Mike Pence. They were gonna hang Mike Pence. The only person that's actually had large groups of people call for his hanging recently. That was Mike Pence.
That moment, he said, I got put on a documentary. Just put the evidence out there and make it.
Yeah, that's the safest thing to do, is make a documentary and just put the evidence out there. Of course, it wasn't all the evidence, and he had to do a follow-up, and then another one, and then another one, and he's done 4 so far, plus an edited version, which would make it kind of 5, but not quite, like 4.5. And don't worry, there's plenty of My Pillow ads on all of it. And of course, a 3-day Cyberama that also had the ads on it. But I mean, yeah, apparently the CIA and the FBI are nefarious groups run by deep state Democrats who are out to murder the opposition, and they were going to hang him because they were afraid he would make a fool of himself, apparently. Can he elect one day and get announced after the fact in the U.S.? Right. Yeah, Mike Pillow has nothing, never did. Exactly. There is no there. There hasn't been there. And for those of you that may be new to the show and may not know this, I went through all of those documentaries. I watched them all the way through the days they were launched. And sentence by sentence, push back against every pile of bullshit in them. And it was work because there's a lot of lies and a lot of crap to talk about in those things and a lot of references to make. So a thing that takes him an hour and 10 minutes to air, it's, it took me 4 or 5 hours in some cases. Yeah, that's right, Ziggy. You were there for it. The whole thing, excruciating detail, calling out all the bullshit in it. And still, I don't get any credit from Mike. Mike, why? Why? You seem a good Christian gentleman. Why haven't you recognized the fact that I bothered to watch them? I went through them live, line by fucking line. Why? Why wouldn't you? What did I mean, you seem to traipse all over the world saying no one will watch it and complaining that which deep state actors and fake news journalists and whatever, I guess, Mark Zuckerbuck, all anti-Semitic epithets aside, you seem complaining that none of them watch your stuff. They don't watch it. They don't pay attention to it. You put all this evidence out, nobody watches it. I watched all of it, god damn it. Nothing. It was all garbage. And a lot of it was, which I thought was rude, was overlapping garbage. Nobody gives a shit about you, Mike Lindell. No, here's the thing. And somebody needs to, if you know Mike, nudge him and tell him Hal Sparks would like to sit down with him and explain to him how he's been suckered this whole time and that he's delusional and paranoid and there are people who are manipulating him for money. Namely Brannon and his wife or sister, whoever the fuck that is, that runs the network that Mike is paying for. But there's a whole group of them. And they just saw a gullible sap with clearly a screw loose and decided to pounce. And, this is no different in some ways to all those stories you hear about, like celebrities that get, that their assistant or their masseuse has suddenly stolen them away from their family and their family's trying to figure out what happens to them, except a lot of those people, I enjoyed their work before it happened and I liked them. Like Richard Simmons, like the stories about Richard Simmons, whereas, he was apparently holed up in his house with his massage therapist who was manipulating him and trying to get his fortune. And the family was like, we can't talk to Richard. He won't let us talk to him and all that kind of stuff. That's what this is like. It's exactly what this is like. Except, like I said, I like Richard Simmons. And my sister and I used to work out to his videos at my dad's condo in Florida when he worked down there. And we would, as his kids, spend summers with him in there. So there you go. So, yes, and Stan Lee, right? The Stan Lee story as well. Is there a Mrs. Pillow? No, there is not a Mrs. Pillow. Who wants to deprogram Mike Pillow? I'd do it. Yes, that's true. Richard Simmons was not known for his crack use. These are, now you're nitpicking. But these, this came up, by the way, because Salon had an article. Mike Lindell seems confused about the date the government tried to kill him. There's lots of them. You know what I mean? My Pillow CEO Mike Lindell, who has created a timeline for reinstalling Trump as president, lost track of what day and month it is today, and then asked an assistant to help him out. Yeah, that was at one of the videos he was on. It's a little dude's broken. But speaking of broken, this is actually pretty funny. There's a truck driving around in Charlotte, North Carolina, trolling people about getting vaccinated. It's a funeral home telling people not to get vaccinated. That's cold as ice. It's cold as ice. He has a soft pillow. He doesn't need. They have one of those long pillows. Yeah. That's kind of amazing. This is kind of miraculous.